Welcome back to the TNT show. Today's episode, we're continuing our off-season breakdowns. Before we get into our wheel spin, we're going to ask our our questions. So, Tyler, off the top of your head, give me your four contenders and pretenders
I'll
in
start
the
off
league.
with all right. So I'm gonna start off with the pretenders. I got the for some reason everybody's all over the Titans. I'm I'm not convinced with that at all. Um, they signed some veteran wide receivers. They did give Calvin Ridley a lot of money, but I got them as pretenders. I just don't think Will Levis is good enough to get that done. Got the Dallas Cowboys. They're always letting people down. They're gonna come into the hype of, oh, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. No, they're not. The Buffalo Bills, you got them, and then I got your team, the Baltimore Ravens,
That's crazy. Just go
and
go
then
ahead and explain why.
let me hit the contenders first. So the contenders, I got the Texans. I think that they did what they were supposed to do. They loaded up for C.J. Stroud. I got my team, the Cincinnati Bengals,
Oh
the De-
God.
the Detroit Lions, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I have two honorable mentions:
Hmm.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Jets. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they can be in the contenders, but with his coming off that Achilles, nobody really knows what he's going to bring to the table.
You gave the Buccaneers an honorable mention. That's insane.
You said that you said last year that Baker just wasn't going to get it done. What did I tell you? Took them boys to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I mean,
They
he
just
choked
gave him
though.
that money. Yeah, well, made it farther than the
I can't
Patriots did.
believe you got the Ravens as a pretender. That is
Oh, 100%.
crazy, crazy.
I just think that offensively, all they got are two running backs. Lamar is gonna get his. Yes, Derrick Henry's probably gonna get his, but I just don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna make that push.
Lamar's gonna throw for like 4,000 yards and rush for like probably it's gonna dip a little bit, maybe 600, 700. But that just them add Derrick Henry to that offense is gonna be crazy because you got to deal with
Yeah,
him all game. On top of that, you have to try and contain Lamar Jackson, and then Zay Flowers. I mean, he's going to be a lot better next season than he was in his rookie season. So you got to factor that in, and not to mention if they make any moves during the regular season. So you having the Ravens as a pretender is beyond me. That's crazy.
I just don't think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. Let,
I
let's hear,
think
let's hear yours.
contenders. I have. I'm gonna give you my contenders first. We got the Jets. I mean, a healthy Aaron Rodgers. Garrett Wilson is obviously a stud. You find another receiver opposite to him, or go get somebody opposite to him.
They got Mike
And
Williams.
yeah, but Mike Williams is coming off like a pretty nasty injury, so like obviously it's gonna take some time for he kind of gets his reps. Um, Plus he's obviously injury prone too, so he has to stay healthy in order for me to factor him into that. So I can't right now. Um, who else? The Ravens, obviously. I already gave my whole spill on that, so I'm not gonna go back into that. Like you said, the Texans. I like the Texans. Their defense is really good. And just inserting C.J. Stroud and a couple of Tank Dell, obviously, into that offense last season. Went to the playoffs, won a playoff game, and then the Ravens just kind of they met their match with the Ravens. So I think the Texans could definitely make that run this next season if everything works out with them adding in Stephon Diggs. And then my last contender, I'll probably honestly just go ahead and say the Chiefs because anytime you got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce on the field, they obviously gonna make a run for it. honestly, they could be a threat to three-peat. You never know. It could happen. Um,
Yeah.
pre- Pretenders, I'll more than likely say the Cowboys just because it's the same thing every season. Great regular season, get to the playoffs, and it's a dud. Uh, it's pretty much they're a one trick pony basically. It's the same thing every season. Great regular season team, just not a playoff team. Um, Other pretenders, I'd probably say, mm, let me think. Um, I'd probably say the Steelers because they kind of when got Russell Wilson, they they're gonna let George Pickens lead their offense receiver wise. They didn't pick up Najee Harris option, so he's obviously gonna try to. He's probably gonna have a really good season because he's playing for a contract. So I think they'll be all right, but I don't think that they'll be in the contender space, more in the pretender space. Um,
Is this going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season?
Probably. Um, let's see. I'm gonna throw the Dolphins in the pretenders just because. I
Oh.
mean, yeah, that offense is elite, but uh, they can't win big games. They struggle in big games, and in the times that they went to the playoffs, they didn't really do anything. It's like they're becoming the next version of the Cowboys. And then other than that, I'd probably say, let me see here.
Go ahead and throw the Bengals in there. I know you want to.
Nah, see the Bengals with a healthy Joe Burrow can obviously make the push to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, he's the only quarterback in the past however many years to beat Patrick Mahomes. So, um, I'll probably say the Vikings. I'm gonna just throw one out there on a limb and say the Vikings. Um, just because they literally have the same offense, but they just inserted JJ McCarthy. So while they could be good, which I think they could be, I don't think he's going to be able to make that push just in that rookie season. I don't think they'll get there. Um, Honorable mention, I'll probably give the Bears because I mean they loaded up for Caleb Williams and he's got all the hype around him, but I think they'll probably struggle. They probably won't make the playoffs. I got them finishing probably 9-8.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, that's my contenders and pretenders. Feel free to comment who your contenders and pretenders are for this upcoming season, and we'll see what y'all think. So we'll go ahead and hop into this wheel spin. All right, so we got the AFC East. So AFC East, we got Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, and Jets. A lot of interesting stuff going on with all these teams. A lot of movement, a lot of high draft picks. Um, I'll go ahead and kick it off with obviously my favorite team, the Patriots. We'll just go ahead and start there. Um, we draft Drake May. First off, we had our worst season in a long time, which honestly it was expected. Um, in my personal opinion, given what the other teams have in this division right now, they're probably the worst team in the division. The left tackle spot is a big hole they really need to fill. They drafted Caden Wallace, who played right tackle at Penn State, but they're moving him over to left tackle, which I mean, a rookie left tackle in the NFL, that's like fresh meat. So they're
Well,
gonna have to get him.
they brought in Okafor too. So
Yeah, but he's an interior offensive lineman though. He's not playing tackle. Tackle is like your quarterback's blind spot, and if you got a rookie out there, that's bad news. Unless they're like highly touted, which for him, I don't think he was uh, a big name. So I think down the road he'll probably be really good because they Patriots normally have a good eye when it comes to finding offensive linemen that pan out really well. Um, so yeah, I mean, just to throw a little bit of last season stats out there, like our offense was anemic, 13.9 points per game, tied for the worst, 276.2 yards per game, which was third worst in the league. And obviously our record was 4-13. That's all worst records for New England since 1992. So it's just it's a rebuild, obviously. So I think they're going in the right direction with Drake May, but I just know it's going to take some time. It's not going to be like the Texans where you draft a guy and he's going to turn your team around that season.
Yeah, I mean they have Jacoby Brissett. He's been in that system before, so he kind of knows like the culture there. So you have that veteran to help Drake May. I mean, they also drafted Joe Milton too. So I mean, somebody will pan out soon. It's just the question mark of who it's going to be and when.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's always great to have a competition. So bringing in Joe Milton, which I mean, he's got a rocket for an arm. So we'll see where that goes. I like the receivers they picked up though, Javon Baker and Jalen Pope, two big time guys at their respective schools. I think they'll be great additions to the team, and whoever the quarterback is should not have a tough time compared to last season. I will state that I still don't feel like Mac Jones got his fair shake, but I'll save that for another debate. Um,
I
uh,
think they're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett at least the first couple games. I haven't really looked at their schedule. I don't think they're going to throw Drake May into a fire that he's, from what I've seen, not really ready for.
I think they'll do it like most rookies who come in and kind of need some time to work on stuff. They'll probably let him have. It depends on how the season goes. If they're not that great and they're not like a playoff team, they're going to let him play out those last few games of the season.
Yeah, you got to let him get those snaps. Yeah, you got to let him get that. Yeah, you got to let him build confidence with. They brought in KJ Osborne from the Vikings. He was a really good receiver there. I mean, behind Justin Jefferson, he was still getting his. They brought in Austin Hooper. He's a pretty good tight end. He can be reliable. They brought in Antonio Gibson to help with the run game. They got some offensive linemen, like you said. Losing Trent Brown obviously is going to hurt. So, like you said, if they put Caden Wallace over there at left tackle, a rookie, that's not going to be an easy task, especially in
For
the
real.
AFC.
Yeah, it's gonna be some. They're gonna have some tough defenses that they're going up against, especially that left tackle position.
I think what the Patriots should do is when the free agency market hits, they gotta spend money. That's one thing the Patriots have never done is spend money on top players.
Oh no! They've done that a couple seasons ago. They spent a lot of money in the free agency, and it didn't even go that well. Like they paid
Exactly.
I know Hunter Henry worked out. They gave Jonnu Smith. They overpaid him. Ended up trading him like what a season or two later. They
Yeah.
gave Matt Judon a lot of money, but he also panned out too, though. He actually worked out. And then there were some other guys that they kind of paid a good bit of money, but they're not on the
I'm
team anymore.
talking like wide receiver offensively. Like you
Oh, you
if
mean
you
like that? Oh yeah,
like
I think they're
they need to
definitely.
go get whoever the quarterback. If Drake May's the future, you got to get him. You got to get him like talent. You got to get him some playmakers. If not, you're gonna have a repeat of Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely spend some money in the off season because again, that was the Bill Belichick regime.
Yeah,
Now we
so
gotta.
obviously, the Patriots have a new coach coming into the season.
I think Coach Gerard Mayo is going to be great for the team. I mean, he knows the culture. He knows the. I think he's going to bring a different type of style to the system. It won't be the same old. dink and dunk, a little bit of yards here, a little bit of yards there kind of offense. I think he gonna try to make some big splashes down the field.
Yeah, I mean they looking at their offensive line, they're gonna have Caden at left, Cole Strange at guard, David Andrews at center, Sidney Stowe at right guard, and I'm not even gonna try and pronounce this dude's name.
Michael Onwenu.
Yeah, at right tackle.
Yeah, which I mean, their offensive line really wasn't terrible. It just, I mean, losing Trent Brown is kind of big because he's like a top tier left tackle. So we'll see what happens.
But I think Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson, I think they're going to be a great 1-2 punch.
Well, hold on. Can't leave out my man, Kevin Harris. Kevin Harris is actually good in the touches that he got while he's been with the Patriots. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure
Uh,
he's still there if I'm not mistaken. He's the games that I watched when he got his carries. He's a tough runner. He runs between the tackles. He runs behind his pads. I think he'll get some playing time. Antonio Gibson is pretty much they brought him in, yes, for specific reasons, but he's going to have to prove that he can play.
I think he can. He was
He's all
pretty
right.
good in Washington.
Nah, because if he was, he wouldn't have lost his starting spot to Brian Robinson. So
You're the Patriots fan. So I'll just, if that's what you say, then I'll roll with it.
you got to take my word for it. I watch all
I'll
that
take
game.
your word for it.
Let's just go ahead and grade them now, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna give him a B. I'll give him a solid B. I like the moves. Were they the best? Not so much, but it's a step in the right direction.
I gave him a C just because of the quarterback question mark. Is Jacoby going to play, halfway through the season, like you said, are they gonna let him play, 8 games? If say it doesn't pan out, then put Drake May in, that way he can get the snaps, he can get the chemistry built with the guys that because you drafted him number 3, so obviously you think he's going to be the future franchise quarterback. So
I feel like if they had the feeling that he wasn't gonna be ready to, and taking him at number 3, they probably should have just traded the pick for somebody who
right,
wanted to pick there. Because if you already had Jacoby Brissett, you were ready to ride with him for the season. Why not just trade that pick and get a receiver or something?
yeah, you could play Drake May the whole season, and then that way he's got a full season under his belt. You have Jacoby Brissett. If he starts to fall apart or starts to crumble a little bit, he has that veteran he can turn to on the sideline, saying, "Hey, instead of this, do this. You made the deep ball where I would have made the check down, or whatever the case may be."
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's weird. That whole situation is weird because you to draft a QB that high and not play him
That'd be kind of insane.
is crazy. Especially not starting out the season. Like I can't think of too many quarterbacks that got drafted top 5 that sat behind somebody else.
Yeah,
So I mean, like I said, if they got a plan for it, by all means, yeah. But if it were me and I was hold on to that pick, I would have traded it if I knew that I felt like Drake May was going to be a project at least for a couple years. And I mean, I just would have went and got somebody next season.
yeah, they could have took a wide receiver instead,
Yep. But
or traded back and got somebody later on.
that's why we sit on the couch and talk about this, and we're not actually in those rooms. Say they might know something we don't know. I don't know. But we'll go ahead and move into the Jets. Jets, Jets. Like I said, they're one of my contending teams. I think they can make a Super Bowl push, especially if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. But while I was writing my stuff down for this, I kind of got to thinking like the Jets have had terrible luck with quarterbacks. Because think about it. They drafted Sam Darnold. He didn't work out. They drafted Zach Wilson. He didn't work out. They pay Aaron Rodgers all that money, and the first series of his first season, he tears his Achilles.
Yep.
Would it not be crazy if he came out this next season and had a season-ending injury too?
Yeah, it's kind of like you go. I mean, going back, I mean, Brett Favre went here and kind of, he had some really good years there, but kind of, I think if he's healthy and he comes in and does what he can do, oh yeah, they for sure they're gonna be scary because Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't make those mistakes.
Yeah,
Now, we don't know what he's going to look like. Apparently, he was ready to play at the end of the season because they were starting to kind of make a little bit of a push there at the end. Like, okay, if they make the playoffs, okay, we're putting Aaron Rodgers in.
yeah, but he came out and said he don't know why that report came out. He had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's just hype. Get people something to talk about.
Now,
Well, they brought in Tyrod Taylor.
yeah,
He's a valuable backup. I mean, he's pretty good.
yeah, that's good insurance just in case Aaron Rodgers
They
is.
brought in three offensive linemen. Tyron
Yeah,
Smith from the Cowboys.
yeah, they loaded up on offensive line. They said they're ready to make sure Aaron Rodgers is protected at all costs.
They drafted an offensive lineman. They brought in two highly leveled defensive people in Hassan Reddick and Javon Kinlaw. They also brought in Mike Williams. Like you said, his injuries kind of get the best of him sometimes.
Yeah,
But if he's healthy, oh yeah, him and Garrett Wilson, they're gonna be dogs. The one
yeah,
thing I didn't understand that the Jets did was draft two running backs. They drafted two, Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis.
we'll see. I think the Isaiah Davis guy. No disrespect to him. I don't think he'll be on the team when the season starts. He might get cut, or he'll probably be on the practice squad. But Braylon Allen, he's actually going to play behind Brees Hall.
Yeah, because
Um,
I don't know if it's the injury thing with Brees that him getting hurt or yeah, like you said, him and Braylon Allen. Allen was a monster at Wisconsin.
yeah, see, they've been talking pretty highly of that wide receiver Malachi Corley.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean they're loaded on all sides of the ball. They
I think
probably
the
I
most,
think they are going to have the number one defense and offense. Defense, the whole defense as a whole, and they're probably going to have the best O line in the game.
yeah. See, I think a pick that they made in that draft that was really underrated was Jordan Travis, just because I think it, however much longer Aaron Rodgers plays, he has a prime opportunity to learn behind a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, yeah, look at Jordan Love. He waited his time, learned, and now look at him.
yeah,
I mean, Jordan Travis is coming off an ACL tear towards the end of the season, so he probably won't. I don't even know if he's going to be ready to play if something was to happen to Aaron Rodgers. I assume that's why they brought in Tyrod Taylor because they moved on from Zach Wilson.
yeah. Zach Wilson's gone. You bring in Tyrod Taylor. Good backup, valuable QB insurance just in case anything crazy happens to Aaron Rodgers. And then obviously Jordan Travis is hurt, so he probably wouldn't even be able to play at any point this season, anyways. Um, so yeah, I think the Jets could definitely win the division this season. Just given it, I say it's between the Jets and the Dolphins, which we'll get into. But I think it's definitely Jets are my number one team to win the division this season.
If everybody's healthy and everybody's it's 18 games now. So that's a lot of games.
It is a lot of games.
Like I mean, Aaron
It's a long
Rodgers is
season.
older. Like, is he going to be able to? He doesn't really take those big hits,
I think he'll be
but
fine as long as he's not taking too many hits in the backfield.
I assume that's why they made the additions that they did.
Exactly. I like it though. They definitely loaded up their offensive line. They they improved an already elite defense, and they brought in some skill positions to help out uh Garrett Wilson. I think they need to still go out and get a veteran receiver, somebody who can kind of, you know, talk to the guys in that wide receiver room because they're all like young.
Agree.
So, um, in other Jets news, the cornerback that they drafted, his name is Quantez Stiggers. I read up there was like an ESPN article on that, and it was actually very interesting because um he was a known prospect, but then he had some family issues. I think it was saying that his dad passed. He had to kind of go back home, help his mom take care of his other siblings, and it was just a wholesome story. I mean, he wanted to help his family out, and he kind of had to give up on his dream or put his dream on hold to make that happen. And so down the road, he ends up playing for the Fan Control Football League, and he was kind of doing his thing out there. So one of the scouts who was doing some work in the CFL pretty much, helped him out, got him a job in the CFL. And what do you know? He goes out there, balls out, wins Rookie of the Year over there, and fast forward to today, you're a New York Jet. You come into a defense that's super elite. You get to come in and learn behind some great, talented guys, especially Sauce Gardner. So I
Yeah,
just, like I said, wholesome story. I like it. I like it.
it's those guys that make you know give people hope that okay, some people well, I'm not good enough, or I can't make it, or I play here, or whatever the case may be. I mean, sometimes it's just don't give up on your dreams. And look at him,
Yep. Put his dream on hold and it still ended up working out for him. Sometimes you just gotta, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
right?
Sometimes the situation will come to you whenever you least expect it. Mm.
I gave them an A just because of what they did. You know, the offensive line, defensive side. You got Aaron Rodgers. You know, if he stays healthy and plays all 18 games, oh yeah, they're gonna. They can win the Super Bowl for sure.
Yeah. I was kind of close to that A-, but that was just because of like I said, I feel like they really need a veteran wide receiver in that group just to, help out the young guys. Which don't get me wrong, Wilson is a star, but you still need like most teams they're going to have a veteran guy in each position group to kind of bring the younger people on, give them some good tips and advice.
Well, you do have Aaron Rodgers for that, so that's not necessarily. I wouldn't really say that's necessarily a need.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is a receiver though. It's not the same. Like it's different because if you think about it. When you have young QBs, what do? You go out and make sure you have a veteran quarterback to kind of show them
Yeah,
the
they can
ropes.
help them on their route running. Yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like
So
that.
you want like a veteran in that position group just to not necessarily give you the stats, but just to kind of help these guys be even better than they are already. Um. So
Moving on to the. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you go ahead. I was going to say the same thing as you. We're moving into the
Moving. Let's move into Miami. Um, this is going to be the make or break for Tua. His
yeah
contract is coming up. He had those scary injuries with the concussions and everything. So, that's probably lingering in their mind,
Yeah, they said if they give him an extension, it's going to have incentives based on his health.
which is understandable. I
No,
don't think
I was going to
he's
say
going to
that's
get. I don't think he's going to get what we've seen, these massive deals, I think he will get something, but I don't think it's going to be anything outlandish. They might,
Yeah,
but
see, I think it was smart for them to just to even like talk about doing that is really smart because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, up to this point, he hasn't been relatively healthy. Even last season, as good a season as he had, he still wasn't 100% healthy.
he did lead the league in passing though.
I think he'll get the extension for sure because it's going to be hard for him not to get this. I mean, look, he got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like, come on.
The only problem with giving him that, they're going to run into the problem of they can't pay everybody. But Tyreek has said several times that he doesn't know how much longer he's going to do it. So he realistically may not have that much longer. You know, Jalen Waddle's young, so he doesn't really get the looks that Tyreek gets. Yeah, Jalen Waddle's a fantastic wide receiver, but he's really not the number one because I mean, you got one of the best wide receivers in the league in Tyreek.
That's true.
But they brought in their whole free agency was defense. They didn't bring in a single offensive guy.
Yeah, they didn't really need it though.
And it's same thing with drafting. They brought in defense. They brought in two wide receivers. They were towards the end though, so
I
whether or
just don't
not they
understand
make
why
or
they.
break.
I don't understand why they drafted Jalen Wright though, because they got like they got like six running backs.
I think they're going to let some guys go. I think they're going to move on from Mostert. He's getting older, and he's the same way. He's hurt a lot too.
Makes sense. Makes
And
sense.
then Jalen Wright, I mean, he was a dog at Tennessee. He can definitely run between the tackles for sure. I think he brings something. Him and A Chain are definitely going to be a hell of a duo because they're all fast. They're all speed guys.
Yeah, you can kind of tell what Miami wants to do with that offense. It's all based on like speed. Um, it's their offense is interesting to say the least, but
Because I think Chop Robinson's going to win a Defensive Rookie of the Year because
absolutely not.
he was a monster in college.
That's great, but it's a lot of good defensive rookies that came into the league this year. So he gonna have a tough time doing that. But speaking of the defense, you can see why they brought in the free agency additions and drafted the way that they did because their defense last season against top teams gave up 30 plus points a game and compiled a record of 1-6 against playoff teams.
Yeah, they were
That's
having. That's why they were having to score so many because their defense was atrocious.
that's bad. And even look Tua stats against playoff teams. You ready for this? It's gonna blow your mind a little bit.
Yeah,
8 touchdowns, 7 picks, 80 point. I think it was a 1 or 2 passer rating, and 16.1 points per game. And these are playoff teams. These are teams that you're more than likely going to see in the playoffs if you go to the playoffs. So he's gotta be better against playoff competition.
and I
It's
think
great.
that might hurt his contract with you saying that because I mean now it's about winning,
Yeah. Yep.
and if he's just going to go, first round and fold, then they may move on from him. You can't never tell. Somebody's going to pay him, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think Miami will extend him, but I think it's after that is when they're going to consider like depending on what he's done for them so far, they'll probably look to go another direction. Um, but it's not 100% his fault because up to this point, his offensive line hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah,
Which
the best.
Yeah, so I mean, they brought in some. I know they drafted a tackle,
Yeah, Patrick Paul.
and um, I think they made some additions as far as the offensive line in the offseason that's not listed for what we saw. So the biggest question is, can they keep him protected? Can they keep him off his back?
Yeah, because those injuries he had a couple of years ago was scary. It
Yeah,
probably
but
crossed his mind a few times. Like
truth be
I know,
told,
I know they were saying like after that last one that he should have hung it up. Like it was
yeah,
that bad.
I mean, realistically, with the injuries that he's had in the NFL, kind of makes you think back to his time at Alabama because he was hurt a lot this time in Alabama too.
Yep, he had that bad ankle injury.
So, uh, I'm
I
I'm
think
I'm
I
wishing
think they'll be fine.
I'm wishing
I
he has a completely fully healthy season because I really want to see what they look like in a home playoff game at least. Because I know in a very cold playoff game like the Buffalo Bills that they played,
yeah,
they're gonna fold.
atrocious. Yeah, because they're just not used to that.
Yeah, that weather is not it.
I gave them I gave them a B. I think they fixed things on defense to try to, it's high scoring now. They brought in veterans.
Yeah,
So I think they fixed the defensive side. Like you said, they worked on the offensive line to protect Tua because I mean they have a decision to make come at the end of the year or whenever that time comes. Okay, are we going to give this man 200 plus mil?
yeah. Um, I said B plus just because I like the defensive additions that they made in the free agency. Um, a lot of well known players, and I think they're going to be able to make some great additions to a defense that really basically struggled against top tier teams last season. So I think the Dolphins, they're a playoff team. I just don't see them contending still just yet. So
Yeah, I think that might be. Yeah, I could see that. But they got to do it now because if you don't, there's going to be that weary feeling of okay, is Tua the guy? Like, is he going to be able to lead us to the Super Bowl?
yeah. Um, and the final team we have is the
I'm so
Bills.
ready to talk about this team.
I bet you are, you Josh
I'll
Allen
I'll
fan.
I'll start it off. I'll start it off. He is the most overrated quarterback in the league.
See,
And
I don't know about overrated because when he's
Tavion,
actually had a talented receiver or offense around him, he's put up the stats. So obviously, when you don't have anybody around you, your stats are going to be very ugly.
I'm so sick and tired of Josh Allen's the best quarterback. MVP, MVP.
Well,
No,
I mean, I'm not
in
saying
my
he's
opinion, go ahead.
I'm not saying he's an MVP level quarterback or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, he's really good. He's really good. But I think he just gets played up a little too much. Like it was to the point to where they had fans questioning how much of an impact did Stephon Diggs really make to
Oh, we're
Josh
gonna
Allen's
see because
stats.
I think the Bills are gonna be atrocious.
I don't think they'll be that bad.
I think they moved on from two of their best wide receivers.
You
They
know
got
what
rid
they
of
did?
a
They got rid of a
lot.
lot of people.
They
Trey
got rid
White,
of
Jordan
literally,
Poyer.
they literally got rid of.
Oh man,
They got rid of. Well, they got rid of Tre'Davious White, which he was great, but injuries have kind of held him back.
yeah,
They got rid of Jordan Poyer, sent him to Miami, They got rid of Leonard Floyd, got rid of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. So that doesn't help Josh Allen at all.
Yeah, I mean they got Keon Coleman and Curtis Samuel, so I mean it's like you lose Gabe Davis, but you bring in Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel is actually pretty good. He's been doing great over there in Washington. Um,
Yeah, because
Keon
Gabe
Coleman,
Davis was one of those like pop off, disappear, pop off, disappear. But
yeah,
but losing Stephon Diggs, whether or not whatever happened in the locker room, people said he was a crybaby, he was a diva, whatever the case may be, he's still top five wide receiver in the league.
all I'm gonna say is be on the lookout for Frank Gore Jr. He's got a
Who?
chip on his Frank Gore's son. He got picked up by the Bills.
Oh, he probably ain't even gonna play.
You'd be crazy to think that he's
They
bro.
also
He's
drafted
actually
Ray
really
Davis
good.
pretty. They drafted Ray Davis. I think it's probably. It looks by the looks of it and by the sounds of it, they're going to be a run first offense.
Yeah, I mean they already ran.
You got that big clown back there running around, fumbling the ball every time he says HUD. He takes off running and just tosses it on the ground.
I think you just want Josh Allen to be. I
I'll
think
leave
you
that
want
man
him
alone.
to. I think you just want him to be bad, that bad, and he's really not that bad.
Huh. He just turns the ball over too much.
Yeah, no, that he does. If he could just cut the turnovers down, he'd be fine. Um,
They got him some offensive line help, so that's going to
yeah,
help. The defense
he,
is where I'd be worried because they
nah, yeah, they defense. I don't think. I think they defense is gonna struggle this upcoming season. They let a lot of guys go.
a lot of talented players. The cornerback
Now,
position is
this
I
is
don't
going.
really know who they have because I really haven't looked into it that much.
Yeah.
But I know at one point Tre'Davious White was one of the best corners in the league.
Oh yeah, no, he was, but like you said, injuries kind of just kind of
Injuries held him back because he did get hurt a lot. Played at the
yeah.
best college there is.
I'm not even gonna offer you a response on that because y'all are not CBU. First off,
Huh? Played at the best college there is.
he wishes he did.
Stephon loses. So we're going to figure out this year if this might be the make or break for Josh Allen, if you want the truth. Can he do it without high level talent?
Well, I mean that doesn't really pose a great argument because who can do it without high level talent? Everybody has at least some type of high level talent on their team, and that's how you get stats. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He had Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, like a lot of. I can name a whole list of players, and they
I
completely
just
reflect.
I just think that they're kind of moving into a rebuild because the players they lost were all getting older,
Yeah.
and
See, I think
I don't know if Josh Allen has that kind of time frame.
I think that's yeah. I think they kind of took some steps towards okay, we might go into a rebuild, but I think they make that decision based on how this upcoming season goes.
I
Um,
wouldn't give Josh Allen $30, much
which is
less
really
300
crazy.
mil.
It's crazy that you feel like that because they have the highest odds to win the division at plus 150.
I wouldn't. I'd give him the better odds of being last in the division.
Nah, that'll be the Patriots, unfortunately. But their time is coming though. Just wait.
I
But
think it's going to be
I think the
the
Jets
Jets,
should have the highest
Miami,
odds.
Bills, Patriots. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, the 1 and 2 is kind of interchangeable because Tua and
Nah, I think it's
uh,
the Jets. I think it's the Jets all the way to win the division. I think 2 and 3 are interchangeable because the Dolphins just they come and go as far as do they look like they can win a Super Bowl?
yeah, and Tua's going to have to play really good this year. He's going to have to stay healthy because it's pay time. It's time to write that. It's time to write that check. So, however you play this year may reflect on that. Say he does get hurt, or say they don't make that push to the playoffs, or whatever the case may be. They may be like, well, is this the guy? Now I know they're just throwing out money left and right to everybody right now. If they don't, somebody will.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, I think
Because
this
Josh Allen has
division.
already been paid, correct?
Oh, has he?
It wasn't
Yeah, I
anything
think he.
crazy, I don't think.
I think he got an extension already. I don't remember how big it was though. I think it was
I wouldn't
respectable.
I wouldn't give him $30.
You just got to look at it as a whole. Like you got to look at it as his stats before he got high level talent, and then his stats after he got high level talent. Obviously, his
You
stats are
also
going
got
to
to look
dip.
at those turnovers.
Yeah, he's always been really bad about the turnovers though.
He just be running down there like a wounded deer, just fumbling it all over the place.
Oh my god. I'm not even a fan of Josh Allen, but the disrespect you put on this man is crazy. I mean,
I ain't even gonna
he,
say what's on my mind. I'll say
he
it if you
was
want.
he was an MVP candidate for a
I
reason.
don't even think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I should cut this off right now.
I don't think so.
You're telling me out of every quarterback in the league right now, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
No, he's not.
Tell me the other 10 quarterbacks off the top of your head that are better than
Okay, we got Patrick Mahomes,
him. Okay, obviously.
Lamar Jackson,
Obviously.
CJ Stroud's better than him.
Nah, I feel
I,
like
I won't.
that's
I won't. I won't count that. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. I won't count that.
yeah, that's
Jared
different.
Goff,
Uh
Aaron
mm,
Rodgers.
I'll give you that one. Jared Goff is 50-50.
He's better than Josh Allen.
Not necessarily speaking,
He's better
because
than Josh Allen. This is my list. He's better than Josh Allen. Joe Burrow.
he's only had one healthy season.
And where'd we go? The
Y'all went
Super
to the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. The other two
Exactly.
seasons, he couldn't even stay healthy for the whole season. How many times has
I
Josh
don't.
Allen missed the whole season of football?
I don't care. Has he been to the Super Bowl? Nope, he hasn't.
But Super Bowl is a team sport, not individual. But go on, keep going.
Let's see. I'm looking at the quarterback list right now.
This is hilarious.
I'd rather.
Jared Goff, that's crazy.
I would. I would rather have Jared Goff. I'd take Brock Purdy over Josh Allen.
Okay, all right.
Let's see. Oh, Kirk Cousins is better than Josh Allen.
Oh my god, just
I'd
just
rather have Jalen Hurts. I can keep going.
just finish
Give
the
me
list.
Jalen Hurts.
Finish the list.
How many is that?
I don't know. I lost count after you said Jared Goff.
Exactly. Because I'd rather have Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow.
Josh Allen is definitely a top 10 QB. You tripping?
No, he's not.
He is.
No, not in my eyes. He isn't.
What makes him not a top 10 quarterback?
All right. I'm looking right now. So he had. All right. He finished at number 4. So I gotta be confident with what I'm fixing to say. He was
Okay.
number 4.
Okay.
4,300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He had 18 interceptions.
All right.
That's a lot.
No, I never said he didn't turn the ball over a lot, but that don't mean he's not a top 10 QB.
I just don't think he is.
He brings something to the game that some of these other quarterbacks can't. Like I take him over Jared Goff because
What? Why?
I take Josh Allen over Jared Goff because I can run a type of offense to where I can run my offense strictly through Josh Allen at some points, like QB runs, RPO, stuff like that. You can't do that with Jared Goff. Jared Goff isn't mobile like that. He's strictly a pocket passer. I have a bias towards quarterbacks who are more mobile
I
and
would rather have
and can
Jalen Hurts
pass.
if that was going to be the case. I'd take Jalen Hurts right
Well, no,
now
I'm
over
not. I'm
Josh
not
Allen.
saying. I would definitely take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen too. But at the same time, I wouldn't because Josh Allen can make the type of throws that Jalen Hurts can't. But see, you just don't like Josh Allen that bad that you're gonna take a lot of guys over him and not consider what he can do for you compared to those other guys. Not saying that Jalen Hurts can't make those throws, he just can't make them as consistently as Josh Allen can.
Out of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league in passing, or however you want to put it, I'd rather have every one of them than Josh Allen.
You just don't like him though. You're making it more about you. I don't like him this much, so he's not a top 10 QB. You're not giving it based on what he can do compared to these other guys.
What can he do that Tua can't do? Run?
Well, number one, be healthy. Number two, run the football. Number three,
I
throw a
don't
deep
need him to
ball.
run the football.
The Tua's deep ball is nothing compared to Josh Allen's.
I'd rather have Jared Goff. I'll take Dak.
You know what? I'm gonna give you. I agree with that one. I'm gonna give you that one. I take Dak too, but I wouldn't
I'll take Dak.
because Dak can't win me playoff games.
This is about to sound outlandish, and you can clip this if you want to. I can't believe I'm fixing to say this, but I'll say it. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield. Look what he did. Look, listen,
I
listen,
do not care about what he did.
listen. What he did.
His
Exactly.
offense was loaded
Look
across the
what he
board
did
though.
with Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis.
You saying that like Gabe Davis, bro? He had Mike Evans and what's his
Okay,
name? What's his
Chris
name? What's the other
Godwin.
guy's name? There you go. Those are two. Those Gabe Davis is nothing compared to either one of those guys. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like you choose Baker Mayfield because what? Why? What can he do that Josh Allen can't?
Well, one, he didn't turn the ball over 18 times.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
28,
How many yards did he have?
4,000,
How many picks did he have?
10.
Josh Allen only threw 8 more. That's not like that big
That's
of a
a lot.
difference.
That's a bull crap. This is a lot.
It's still regard it's double digits either way. It's nothing. It's nothing in the singles. It ain't 5. It ain't 4. It ain't 6. It's 10.
Doesn't matter. Still threw less.
Oh man, you gotta learn the. Josh Allen's a top 10 quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
No,
You said I take Baker Mayfield over Josh. That's crazy.
I probably would.
Insane. We gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up, and we will catch y'all in the next episode of the off season series, the off season breakdown series. We gonna let Tyler get some rest because clearly, his brain is not functioning properly right now. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode.
He had a
And we're
QB. Hold on, before you end it, he had a
oh
QBR of
god,
69. Okay, Baker Mayfield's wasn't better.
exactly.
He
That's
had
my
a
point.
higher rating, so that's all I'm gonna say.
That's exactly my point. So, well, on that note, we out of here.